Hello, 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 welcome back. My name is Patricia from Corgi.com, and today we're going to talk about line quality. If you do have some difficulty with lines, especially if you want to do your artworks with line art, this video is for you. So if you constantly feel that your lines aren't looking like you want them to, or you feel them too wobbly and too trembling, well, there's two reasons for this. One of them is tension. You're too tense, too stressed, you're thinking too much. So the first advice I have for you here is relax. The secret for good lines is for you to relax and don't force them. So for starters, you'll be hurting yourself in your wrists and your hands if you are too tense grabbing your pencils, but your lines will show that. Now the second thing is practice. You have to practice your lines. I can look to my line work from 2 or 3 years ago and it has nothing to do with what I do today. You learn, you start practicing, your lines become more and more relaxed and smoother, and that is noticeable in your works. So for this, I'm going to give you some exercises for you to practice and make your lines better. So let's take a look at them. So our first exercise is going to be very simple, which is draw straight lines. Just this. Pick up your sketchbook or open up a blank document and just practice some straight lines. Just come up over here, a straight line going down, straight line, different sizes. Try out bigger lines, smaller, both vertical but also horizontal. It might not seem like it, but I'm sure you've felt this before, that drawing a straight line is not as easy as it looks. So you can practice that one. Just practice if you're doing this, even if you do this with a pencil or a pen. Try out different pressures in your lines and see how they behave. This is a good way for you to get more control of your lines. So do this as much as you want. Fill up dozens of pages if needed. Just take some time doing this, both vertical lines, horizontal lines, and diagonal lines. Just do this a lot of times. Start with just horizontal at the beginning, for example, then fill up another page just with vertical lines, and so on. As you feel that you're getting better at this, well, start trying to draw curved lines as well. This will also give you some more control of your lines. I feel that it is harder to do this with straight lines and with curves, but it is also a good thing to do. So just fill up your pages with lines. Straight lines, different sizes, so short lines but also long lines. So you'll notice that longer lines will be more difficult than shorter lines, for example. So that's a good practice. Try out different pressures to your lines, and this will give you more control of the way you do your lines. Now the second exercise is also very simple, and you probably have done this as a kid, which is connecting the dots. Now, I don't know about you, but I always had a lot of fun with this one. This was one of my favorite exercises to do on those activity books for kids. There are also books for adults today. They're like gigantic and have like thousands of dots for you to connect. Yes, I do have one. I have lots of fun with it when I just want to relax a bit. So that's a good way to practice your lines as well. And of course, if you're not feeling like buying a book or finding something online, do your own dots. Start with very simple shapes. So let's say a square, for example. So I have here my dots. And now, without cheating, if you're doing this on computer, you need to connect them. So one line down, another here, and another here. Very simple. Again, this will give you more control of your lines into specific distances, and you can also practice the pressure of your lines. Let's see a circle, for example, starting with 4 dots first, and now we fill up here the rest. And now we connect here our dots. Again, this is not perfect, but it gives us already, and it will also help us create shapes in the future. For example, if circles is something that is hard for you to do, then start with dots first. Create some dots and then connect them, and you'll get used to drawing a circle this way. Try out different shapes, try out different drawings. Let's say you can try to guess what I'm trying to do here. And if you're creating your own dots, this is also a good way for you to learn your shapes. So have fun with that as well. So there we go, and now I'm going to, this is very simple, but I'm going to connect my dots here. There we go. There you go, a very simple and weird flower at the moment. So try out different things, start with simple shapes, draw a square, a triangle or a circle, then try to do some more complicated things. So try to draw a bear, for example, draw a bear only with dots and then connect them, again with simple shapes, a flower, a teacup, a glass of water, for example. Or if you prefer, you can go and get a connected dots book and have fun with that. This is not only good for your lines, to improve your lines, but it's also a nice way to relax and have some fun for an hour or two. Now, the third exercise, it mixes up our line quality skills and also some shading. So create your document or open your sketchbook and draw, let's say, a rectangle. I have my rectangle, and now we get our pen, our pencil, our brush, whatever material you're using on your computer or on your sketchbook, and now what you want to do is shade this rectangle using parallel lines. So we come up over here, let's say that I want it darker this side, so use the pressure to your advantage here to get a better feel, and then you can start going more spaced between your lines and using less pressure, for example. So this is a way to do it. Practice is a lot. This is, you're not only practicing your lines but also your shading and your understanding of shading and light. You can also do this with vertical lines, for example. So it's also a good exercise. So again, we start with thicker lines, very close together, but then as we get closer to the light, they get more space and almost invisible. Feel free to go over the rectangle so you can have more freedom. You can erase what's outside of the rectangle if you wished later on. So, and of course, if you really want to have the whole control of your lines, do not go over the rectangle. So draw only inside of it. So fill out as many rectangles or squares as you wish to. Another way to do this is with the crosshatch technique, for example. So you start with lines going on one side, again draw as many as you wish depending on where it's darker, and then we do the same but the opposite way, and where it's darker we're going to have more lines and they'll be close together, but as we go to the light part, they get more spaced and less colored. So there we go. Fill up as many pages as you want with this. Practice a lot. If you're not really comfortable yet with shading, this is also a good exercise for you, so have fun with this. Try out different shapes as well if you wish to. Rectangles and squares are the best to go at the beginning because you just need to draw straight lines, but as you practice and as you learn, grow from there and try out different shapes. And lastly but not least, my favorite exercise for improving anything in drawing is gesture drawing. Gesture drawing are quick drawings of anything. Usually it is done with anatomy, but you can also do it with animals, for example, specific body parts, and even objects if you wish, as long as you do it quickly. Why is it quickly? It's because we want to capture the essential shapes and forms of your drawing. So a good way to do it is you can either find some images or get a mannequin or go to websites like the Sketch Daily. You have here many choices for you. You can put your timer, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. If you're not yet used to this, go for 2 minutes maybe, and then you just click start and it will give you some images. So yes, I have here, I'm going to start. So you start with a circle, you just do the main shapes and line of action, for example. It's very important. You just use the main shapes to portray the movements and the essence of the pose you're drawing. And this is very good for your lines because you'll be relaxing here. You're not worried about how your lines are looking. This is not supposed to be perfect. So you just want to capture the essential. It has to be quick. You can't make perfect. It's impossible. So instead of worrying about a single line, you don't have time for that. And remember when I said at the beginning that one of the reasons, or one of the main reasons, that you're probably going to feel that your lines aren't as good as you want them to and they feel very tense is because of this. It's because you're not relaxed. You're too worried about how your lines are going to look. And this is a very good exercise for you to relax and not think too much. You're not supposed to think a lot here. You're just going with the flow. You're finding your main shapes, doing things very quickly, and go for the next picture. So this, like I said, this helped me very much. Again, you're not looking for perfect. And if you do feel that your lines are too tense and you're not liking how they're looking, do lots of gesture drawing. It will help you relax and it will help you see art differently as well. You'll forget about having things perfect. You'll not spend half an hour or an hour in that line that it's annoying you and you're not liking it. You'll move forward from that. So I really recommend this one. As you can see, my drawings here are far from perfect, but I did manage to capture the essential of the pose, and from here I can make some final drawings if I wish to. So have fun with your practices, really. Just take some time in your day and do some mindless sketches. But if you prefer, just do some lines like we saw at the beginning, some straight lines, connect some dots, do some simple shading with lines. Or if you prefer to do something more specific and a bit more complex, do some gesture drawing. It's fun. You're supposed to have fun. These are my only rules for drawing. Have fun with it and relax and experiment a lot. And you'll see that very quickly your lines will improve a lot. I hope these exercises were helpful for you. Of course, there are others. Maybe you've already encountered some other exercises. If so, please feel free to share them with me, comment below, and I'm always curious to see what everyone can come up with to develop themselves and develop their skill. And as you can see, these are very easy exercises, they are very simple, and have fun with them. As always, the most important thing here is to have fun. Now, if you want to know more and other drawing tips, be sure to check doncorgi.com/drawing-tips. So I'll see you next video. Bye bye. And that's helpful for you, of course, doncorgi.com/drawing, no, not slash dash, não, dash é seguir.